Bluey, which I've never heard of Bluey. Maybe I've heard of it. I don't think my nieces and nephew watch the show because I don't know much about it, but it's apparently popular. So this is from Deadline. Bluey episode edited by ABC and BBC Studios after viewers complained about fat shaming. Again, this is a bit ridiculous to me. Australia's Emmy-winning kids show Bluey is at the center of a row after ABC and BBC Studios edited an episode to address concerns about fat shaming. The season 3 episode, titled Exercise, featured Bluey's father, Bandit, embarking on a fitness regime after he stands on the bathroom scales and grabs his pouch. Viewers said it promoted toxic messaging about weight. Aussie girl Margie, a TikTok user who has built a following analyzing Bluey, said apparently Bluey is totally okay with fat shaming now. I wonder how big that account is, and if there's so many people on TikTok who complain about this stuff just in general. I wonder if that's maybe where stuff started kind of like exploding, but who knows? That hasn't hit my algorithm. She added the fact that they added in the scales and showed both parents being sad and disappointed after seeing the number on the scales is pretty problematic. Pediatric dietitian Dr. Kayla Ringrose wrote, watching Bandit and Chili weigh themselves and openly hate on their bodies in front of the kids, it was really uncomfortable. The episode aired in Australia on April 16th, but is yet to land on Disney Plus, which has a deal with the distributor BBC Studios to stream the series in the UK and US. When Exercise does stream, it will be an edited version of the original episode. The ABC said the recent episode of Bluey Exercise has been republished by the ABC following a decision by the makers of the program. The new version provides families with the opportunity to manage important conversations in their own way. As the home of Bluey, the ABC's supports the decision to re-edit the program, and we have updated the episode on our platform. BBC Studios will use this revised version for global distribution and also support this decision. It is not the first time that the cartoon about the lovable family of dogs has been shrouded in controversy. In 2020, Ludo Studios producers cut the term Ooga Booga from the I read this already, but it didn't like register the Ooga Booga from Bluey episodes teasing and flat pack after a viewer complaint it has racial connotations and a problematic history for Indigenous Australians. People are so serious about this stuff. But what's crazy though, and I'm going to share the screen so people just even know what the dog is, because again, I'm not too familiar with Bluey, but it's an Australian show. But I mean, just because it's like not American doesn't mean I don't know about. I mean, I know about Peppa Pig, but I know about Peppa Pig because my nieces and my nephew were really into it. So I don't think they watch Bluey, but that's Bluey. What's crazy about this to me is that, okay, so ABC streams, this stuff and we'll put on Disney Plus. Do you know what kind of garbage they put on Disney Plus for kids? They put all kinds of stuff on Disney Plus for kids, including, was there not a drag queen singing about pride? I'm sure maybe some of you or most of you have heard about the Christmas special drag queen thing that was going on. There was clips, all over Twitter and stuff, of some of the really profane, perverse dancing and skits and stuff with the Rudolph the nippled reindeer and other stuff like that. But Nina West was the person who was like hosting it. And so, Nina West, which I got into a conversation with somebody a couple weeks ago, and they were like, about drag queen and drag queen story hours and other stuff. And they thought it was okay for people to be around drag. I'm like, have you seen like some of this stuff that people are into or showing their kids or whatever? And, or some of these performances, and they didn't seem to be aware of some of the really lewd stuff. And I'm like, well, what about Nina West was on like Nickelodeon? They're like, I don't know who that is. I'm just like, Nina West was on RuPaul's Drag Race. I don't know if Nina won or whatever, but I mean, I guess I know who Nina West is because Nina West was on Blue's Clues leading a pride parade and Blue's Clues is from 3 to 5 or Yeah, it's like preschool age. So it's like 3 to 5 is like the ages for Blue's Clues audience or target core demographic. And now I don't think they maybe aired this on an episode, but I think it was like a digital special or something that they made. Even so, that was a pretty wild thing that happened. I had a super viral video, at least on TikTok. Actually, I think it pretty much went viral on YouTube when I finally posted on YouTube, about that. Because a lot of people were just like, this is too much. Like, why are you going for the kids? And some people were like, no, they need representation. And I'm like, bro, why is a drag queen? I'm like, what? Okay, besides the whole nature of, well, not even besides, they're adult entertainers. I'm not saying there's not clean drag, but they are adult entertainers. And Nina West, that particular drag queen, does adult stuff. So why is this the person you want on Blue's Clues and Nickelodeon? So there's that. But also drag is just, I know people like it or whatever, but it's just really a minstrel show, but it's mocking womanhood and femininity. And if, people like weird humor or whatever, so I'm not trying to throw you under the bus or something, but that's what it is. It's basically a minstrel show, but instead of mocking black people, you're just mocking women. That's what it is, So if adults like off-color, darker humor or something, that's one thing. But why, if kids are establishing their identity, why is this man, who is exaggerating being a caricature of a woman, and you can't say they're not because they're called drag queens, and they use feminine like pronouns and stuff when they address each other. So that's totally the gist of it, that they are mocking, pretending to be women while they're wearing this makeup. I also find the aesthetic really displeasing myself. I think they look like, I'm not, I'll just leave it alone. But I don't like that. If you can read my tweet, what I said the other day about it. But yeah, I don't like anything about it myself. But I'm like, why the 3-year-olds? Why the 4-year-olds? And the crazy thing about the Pride Parade, they were showing all these different kind of families, but no one was straight. Or maybe they were. There was like a family that was allies, and I think that was like number 9. And I'm like, why? If you're trying to show that all these other families are the same as a traditional kind of family, why is there no traditional family with a mom and a dad and their kids that they had naturally together? Like, why was that not a representation at all? So, and then people push back against that point, like, well, we've seen enough representation. I'm like, no, you will never have enough representation of a family, of a mother and a father who get married and have their kids. That's the backbone of civilization. You can have a family in whatever kind of way that you please, but you start deteriorating that kind of family and society, we're just done for. That's one of the reasons why you have such high crime in areas and other stuff where and all sorts of different issues, runaway from home, people not graduating from high school, all kinds of drug use. A lot of it can be, you can point the finger to fathers not being in the homes with their kids and other stuff like that. And you can be mad at it, but it's just more likely to happen. I'm not saying if you're a single mom or single parent or something like that, you can't like make it or something, but it makes it significantly harder, and God bless you and Godspeed to you. But yeah, you can never have enough representation of a nuclear family. You just can't. But why is it that you can't have people trying to lose weight or talking about losing their weight, getting their body in shape, but they'll have Nina West sing about pride, on Nickelodeon and on Disney Plus. They did a This Is Me special, Nina West, from the song from The Greatest Showman, and they had all kinds of different stuff for like their pride event or whatever. So that's the kind of stuff that they want to associate with your kids. But Bluey's parents or whatever, like, I don't know Bluey, if Bluey's a child or Bluey's a dad, but that's just too much, huh? Now, as a big gal, I've got to say, I really don't like fat pride. I don't like the attitudes that people have around it. Like, I don't think you should treat yourself like trash. you know? But we are putting a lot of pressures on our body, and it would be a good thing if you lost weight. And the older you get, the more you're probably like, man, you should really take care of this. If you desire to be around for a long time, there's a lot of things I'd still like to accomplish and to do. And it would be easier if my body was smaller. So people like being prideful about being unhealthy, that doesn't make any sense to me. But I don't think you should beat yourself up about it every day, though. I mean, I think you should be like, I should do something, but the ball's in your court. So if people try to come at me about my weight or something, I'm like, I'm not going to give you the power to make me upset about something that's totally within my control. Totally within my control. So you didn't eat to get me this size, and you're not going to exercise to make me lose the weight. It's all totally in my hands. So I'm not going to let someone else make me feel bad about my size or something like that. So, I don't think if you don't like where your body is at, I think you should just go ahead and make the difference. But don't let people tell you that you're fat phobic or it's wrong. The implication is that it's wrong for them to feel that way about their body. How is them wanting to lose weight and get in shape not valid? How can you treat people who are big and who like the size they are? Someone like Lizzo or somebody, who's very her fat is basically like a gimmick, but which I don't understand, because I mean, I don't relate to her music or anything like that. I know she has some hits and stuff, and she's very popular, but she doesn't need like the gimmick, I guess. But it's her and other folks, and you see ads of like really big people for like getting ready for summer bodies, and like there's just like this hatred for people who are fit, or the idea of like, yeah, you should lose weight. People are totally against that today, and it's not good. I was gonna say I don't understand it, but I maybe do understand it. But I mean, it's just a continuation of the decline of our society, I guess. But everybody's hurt no feelings or whatever. There was an article the other day, I meant to read it to you guys, about if somebody works out or something, they're more likely to be conservative, and like that was a bad thing, or that people will work out and it will lead them to like, I don't know, self-discipline and conservative values or something. And I'm like, this is pretty hilarious. I'll have to go back and find it and maybe go through it next week. But yeah, there's a total attitude against people deciding to live healthy lifestyles. And it doesn't make sense why people choosing to be fat and be comfortable with the skin they're in and being like very, out and loud about it. That's fine. But it's not valid if people say, I don't like where I'm at in my size and let me do something about it. It's good for people to know that they have agency in the situation. What I said, like, I'm not gonna let people make me feel bad as if I don't have agency in the situation. I do have agency in the situation. So it's not your power to give and take away. It's all in my hands. So if I feel bad about it, that's on me, But if I want to make a change or don't want to make a change or whatever, that's all on me. And the health concerns or whatever occurs after that, that's all on me too. It's totally my situation. Me, I have full agency in the situation. It's harder, if people have different like other health issues, why people might be big or whatever, like, hormones, thyroids and all kinds of different things that can contribute, like medications, whatnot. Everybody's body's not the same, but I still hold agency in the situation. So if there's a cartoon and the parents want to lose some weight, and I assume the rest of the episode they probably did things to lose weight, how is that not good? You don't like something about your body, with as far as fat, holding things that can be unhealthy, and you do something natural to try to get rid of that. But we have a society that's like, puberty, we don't want you to have to go through that. So go take some, puberty blockers, some chemical castration drugs. So you're not torturing kids and making them go through this natural process of puberty. So that's another thing that's bonkers to me in our society. That we could be okay and celebrate people literally not being themselves. But it's a bad thing if someone's like, let me drop a couple pounds. We have a society that just wants to worship decline. things that are unhealthy and death. But before I move on, I do want to say another thing about like fat idols and stuff like that who are really into fat pride. Don't trust people who are really into it. Like they lose weight eventually. Like Adele used to say, "Oh, I'm so busy working," and she was working. I'm like, that makes sense. She's out there doing her thing or whatever. And you know what? She's super skinny today. Lena, what's the name? Dunham, who was in the TV show. It was Girls or something like that. She's like a fat, gross slob that she thought, I don't know, that was kind of her niche or something, her shtick. And she started losing some weight, and she's like, "Oh, I actually feel better." You had the girl who was fat, Amy. She started losing weight to I believe so she could have a child, but I think she just did a surrogate anyway. She got famous for fat Amy, but she ain't fat no more. I don't know if Lizzo's gonna rock that size her whole life and go to the grave with an extra large casket. I don't know if that will be her life, or at some point she'll be like, you know what, I'd like to do the things that I like and to do them longer and more efficient. So, let me lose some weight. Like that might come a day. So if you have a fat hero, like, don't trust them. Eventually they slim down. Because it's better for them. So, again, there's nothing wrong with teaching kids that they have agency about, like, if they're a little chubby and childhood obesity. I don't know how bad it is all around the world, but it's bad here in the US. So, it's not a bad thing to teach people that they can do something about it, And again, I've never seen Bluey. I don't know how the rest of the episode progressed. And, cause the things they were complaining about didn't sound like a really big deal, but fat shaming is not, you see something unhappy about your body and you want to do something differently about it. And if wanting to change something about your body is bad, please tell me why we are so gung-ho in our society to celebrate gender identity and affirmation, and kids taking puberty blockers and hormones, and teenagers chopping off their breasts, and why is that okay? Because the math ain't math. It ain't making sense.
Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you go to blacktnews.com and check out different articles, different videos, and also check out our merchandise. If you like what I do, you can also support at the website on the donate page. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and also that notification bell. God bless.